Hello and welcome to Pajama Day at my house. I think I'm the only member of my family in pajamas. I thought I'd treat myself. Feeling really good. Right now I did a full magic cleansing, blessing of my home. The Palo Santo has burnt out. Burned down. I love the by hem, the incense Palo Santo for clearing. Even members of my family can tell that whoa, something came through here, and it feels great, and it smells really nice. Also, I dressed a candle, and I lit a candle. I lit a candle on my altar. That wasn't just fast and dirty tea light. For the first time in months, like dressed with oil, herbs, the whole enchilada. So, a little excited. All right. So I thought for this little video we could do a little, chit chat. At first, I was gonna do one of those official not official videos, but one of those videos titled the deck that I'm going to be talking about, or and a comparison and all this stuff. I started and my heart wasn't in it. I think I just want to talk about it and show you what I did. All right, so yes, I'm still culling cards from. Sorry, I have to wiggle in my chair and get comfortable after the camera starts rolling. All right. So there's some decks I wanted to talk about today. One was like a really, really exciting find. One of them, I can't believe it. I don't even know what made me go look. I don't even think I looked on purpose. I think it just was, I did a search for Morgan-Greer. Because I was thinking, well, should I get a clean copy? Just because I'm culling decks I don't use, and I have, of the decks that I've done like radical modifications on, such as my Druidcraft Completely Naked, I own an intact copy. So the second it went on sale, I scooped it up to have an intact copy. My Wildwood Tarot, I received my first copy as a gift, and it was already borders trimmed and edged in green. That's the one I featured in a recent past video that I re-rounded the corners and freshened it up a little bit, right? I had purchased an intact one because, oh my God, people, like the Wildwood Tarot is cheap as all get out. Like, it's so inexpensive, it's crazy. Anyway, I paid under $20 Canadian, I'm pretty sure. It was, whoa. Anyway, I have that one with the borders intact, but I edged it in green, and it's the one I enjoy using more. That's a deck I discovered that the one that's completely borderless or almost borderless, is borderless on 3 sides, I use for magical work, and it works perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. But for reading, I prefer that card. I prefer that deck and those cards to be the size they are with the white borders, and the white borders do add something. So there's that. I'm trying to think of Tarot of the She. Tarot of the She, my first one, I had trimmed it completely naked. Then I went back and rewrote everything on the cards with Sharpie. I got a second copy to keep intact. But regrettably, I received the deck I received, there was already damage on the cards. Like, I received cards that already were like peeled and like were already chipped on the edges. So I trimmed the sides off, but I kept the top and bottom. And I don't know. I kind of like I guess I bonded with the first one. That crazy expansive uncontained energy of my first one that I took all the borders off. I really want an intact one to just to have as a backup. The one I trimmed the sides off of, it's okay. I don't mind it, but it doesn't feel like my deck. So there's that. So this past week, I received 2 decks in the mail. One is so where was I going with this? Oh, that's it. So this one's looking really grubby, right? So I'm thinking, you know what? Why don't I just get myself a backup copy? Why don't I just get the one that's available through US Games? Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll like it even better. But I do like that these are kind of wider than a standard tarot deck. Excuse me, I need some tea. Today I'm drinking pumpkin spice Tim Hortons, just plain, in case you want to know. All right, where was I going? Oh my God, I'm rambling, people. I'm sorry. Anyway, I went on to Amazon looking just to see what, like, I don't really need a backup Morgan-Greer because this one's holding up pretty good for one that's almost 30 years old. But I thought, let me go see. I don't know. I was just curious how much it cost, what the reviews were. I did see flip-throughs a while back, probably a couple of years ago, where people compared the 1990s deck, the one I have, to the current US Games. I think it was Sarah at Sunset Bow that did it, where she compared the two, and there's a difference. Like the cards are a little narrower, and the coloration I think is different. Anyway, long story short, people, I go on to long story long actually, because it really is a short story and it's 7 minutes and I haven't even told you anything yet. All right, went on to Amazon and I clicked on, sometimes I do this, like I'll look at the deck. I looked at the Morgan-Greer and then I clicked on Bill Greer and this came up. This is the 1993 edition of the Morgan-Greer in Italian. This is the box. This is the box mine came in. It's printed in Belgium. It says copyright 1979, but this is in fact the 1993 edition. I think I even confirmed it with, because in 1979 had a different box. Anyway, so, oh my gosh, this was entertaining for me. First of all, let's look at my grubby one and let's look at the brand new one. So the cards are the exact same size. These cards are not narrower. This is the exact same deck I bought in 1993 in English. And I guess US Games is liquidating these decks that didn't sell or something. I don't know what the story is, but I paid it $20? 22 maximum, right? With Prime, like free shipping. Anyway, so it's the exact same deck. The only difference, it's in Italian. So my edges look gross. They're not just gray, they're like greenish gray. And I wash my hands before I handle my decks, but truth be told, I do handle them after dressing candles and stuff like that. So when they're, if there's magical oils on my hands, they're all over my cards. So that probably contributed to the gray-green edging, natural edging. I'm not going to do a full flip through. I am going to do one of the majors though. So I'm going to show you the backs. I guess I don't have to tell you that this is mine, like my old one. And this is my new one. The new one, the backs look lighter. The blue doesn't look as saturated. But the backs, the stars, the star pattern is identical. And I'm thinking this might be just 27 years of me handling it. The oils on my hands, both natural oils and magical oils. So honestly, I couldn't tell you. But when I look at when I feel this and I look at it, this is what my deck used to look like. Check out, this is the old one, this is the new one. So my old deck has yellowed. So it had like the coloration of my old deck has a bit of a yellowish cast over the colors. The colors aren't as clear as they used to be because of the oils on my hands, incense smoke, cigarette smoke. I used to smoke when, you know, when everyone else smoked, I smoked as well. Sometimes I occasionally have one, but don't judge me. All right. Oh, yeah, great. Some bot is going to send me an email trying to get me to feature electronic cigarettes on my channel. No. All right. Because it's happened before. Okay, so I digress. So here it is, people. So yeah, this one, so my deck has this yellowish cast because, well, you have incense smoke, cigarette smoke from back in the day, because people used to come to my house and you know, everybody was smoking, and there was, you know, magical oils and everything going on, and you know, sometimes there's probably some pizza grease on this, you know what I mean? Like this was a very this was my workhorse. This deck worked really hard, which is why this new one that I just got is never going to replace it. Never. But I just thought it was, you know, for 22 bucks I get to show you that, guess what? Mine, new. So notice the colors are clearer. There's no yellowish cast on, you know, on the Magician. No, you could tell. And the lighting is not perfect for this, I know. But let me try to angle it so that you could see it better. What's fascinating to me is that I knew my deck was worn, but I did not know to what degree it was worn until I see pieces of the sky like, you know, that the blue here is rubbed off. And this one, the color is solid. So here's the thing. This is a Rider-Waite clone. Like, what do we call these? Do we call these clone? Do we call these derivatives? Is it the same thing? So honestly, it doesn't matter that it's in Italian. If you want that 1990s cardstock and the deck, and you know, the deck that's a little wider, oh my gosh, look at that. Holy cow. My old deck has seen a lot of shit, people. This is a really, really nice deck. Now, I don't have, oh my gosh, yeah, you can really tell Temperance here. Temperance has yellowed quite a bit. I didn't realize how worn my edges were on the card side, on the image side versus the backs. So again, I don't know what the current US Games one is like. I don't have it to compare it. But I have to say that I really love my original, and this Italian version, this 1993 Italian edition, is identical. So you can tranquillamente, as we say in Italian, you can calmly, or you know, without without reservation, order the Italian edition of the Morgan-Greer. Here, let's do some more here. And it is the 1990s edition. The only reason I would say that mine looks a little more saturated, seriously, is because the oil's on it. They're not dirty. They're not dirty, but you know what I mean? Like, it's the magical oils, the natural oils on my hands, pizza grease. There may have been some cold cut sandwiches. May have come into contact with a little cheese over the years. You know what I mean? Tarot was a social thing before the pandemic. But anyway. So, yeah, the only difference in coloration, really, mine is aged. But it, you know, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One last card. So yeah, so that was an unexpected score. What am I doing? What am I pointing at? Anyway, score. That was an unexpected score on Amazon. Again, I'm in a depth here. I don't count this as a purchase because this is basically the same deck I have. And I was looking for a backup to keep in case, you know, my old one, something happened to it or I want to retire it. Because energetically, to people who've been reading for a long time, or even if you haven't been reading for a long time, but you've been reading intensely, and especially for other people, do you find that there comes a time where your deck wants to be retired? And I don't mean it like that. I'm not personifying the deck, or I'm not anthropomorphizing the deck. What I want to say is that the energy of the deck is one that it's almost like, oh my gosh, my example is also dated. A cassette tape that you've used and reused to record songs off the radio. At a certain point, it's like, yeah, I need to use a fresh cassette. This is how the energy of this deck feels. This deck feels like it wants to retire. And I have a box in my witchy cabinet, in my curio cabinet, that I think this is going to go into that box. And it's I think this one I'm going to have to retire it. But in the comments below, please do share if you've experienced what I'm describing, where the energy of your deck is such that it's not that it's depleted, it's just that it's done its job, and now it's time for it to enjoy its golden years. Lying quietly in a wooden box. Oh my God. It's been very strange. It's been very strange for me, my friends. All right, so that's it for this deck. The next one. So let me just move these. So like I think I showed you everything I had to show you. Rest assured, the Italian version with the chariot on the front. Available on Amazon Canada for sure, because that's where I got it. Of course, the little white pamphlet, because it's not a little white book. It's a little white pamphlet. It comes in the Italian language. The whole deck is in the Italian language. It's not like a Lo Scarabeo situation where it's multilingual. No, it's literally it's an Italian edition of this deck, and oh my gosh, it's quite a find, people. Okay, so the next deck. So, because the last time I did a cull of my decks, it wasn't as dramatic as the one I'm doing now, but I had done a cull of my decks. And I sold my Mythic Tarot, my 1986 Mythic Tarot. Months later, to a lovely, lovely lady, a fellow YouTuber. Months and months and months later, I get wind of two things. One, I kind of missed it. So I bought the guidebook, and the guidebook was good enough for me. So I have a copy of the guidebook that I keep for myself. Because when, back in the mid-90s, it was the number one deck, the one and only deck my friend used. And she would read for me, and she would read to me from the guidebook. And it brings back really fond memories. And I have to say that the Mythic Tarot guidebook, that one helped me learn tarot. See, at that point, I was already, when I met this friend, I had already been reading tarot for 10 years, but I only mastered it when I superimposed what, the Mythic Tarot guidebook meanings on, when I added that extra layer. The lovely lady, fellow YouTuber I sold the Mythic Tarot to, had done a video where she was getting rid of it. And I thought, oh, okay, well, oh no, I got this in the wrong chronological order. I get nostalgic for the deck. So I'm going to talk about the one I bought for me. I get nostalgic for the deck. I reach out to a fellow YouTuber. I think I was trying to set up a swap or whatever. I just asked her, hey, by the way, would you happen to have a Mythic Tarot lying around you don't want? I sold mine and suddenly I'm missing it. It's a sickness, people. It's an addiction. Anyway. This lovely lady messages me, I don't know, I think it was a couple of weeks later or something. Not even a week, not even a couple of weeks later. I'm at work, I look at my phone, and she sent me a message saying that she found one on A-Books. So I replied back with, thank you so much. She sent me the link and everything. And so when I get home from work, I'm gonna check it out and I'm gonna order it. And it's this one. It is the 2003 edition of the Mythic Tarot. I didn't even know this one existed because I had the 1986 one for a very long time. Now the 1986 one, here's where it gets confusing. I owned the tarot deck prior to meeting my friend who read exclusively with the Mythic Tarot. But it was something that I had purchased and I had on my shelf, and it was, I didn't use it. So that's why I have a Mythic Tarot from 1986 and I'm the original owner. Anyway, and I'm pretty sure I bought mine in the early 90s. But, in the early 90s, and this is another thing I find fascinating, in the early 90s, they weren't churning through tarot decks. Like, they weren't being printed that, at least not to the degree that they are today, I imagine, because, well, it's a very niche market. It still is niche, but we have the internet, right? And like all of us are going, we're going to Amazon the second we see a deck in a video, right? Or wherever, Book Depository, Barnes & Noble, to buy it. So that's probably why mine is an original 1986 that I probably bought in 1990. Anyway. Oh my God, I know. This is so long. It's taking me forever. I bought this on A-Books. It was my first purchase ever on A-Books. Oh my God. Like, pretty impressed. This was a really good experience. One, I think the deck was $19.99. So the deck, it came with the book. It's the box, the book, the cloth, and the deck. And the deck, there's only 2 cards that have a little bit of wear, and it's literally probably just from this plastic here. So this is the guidebook for the 2003 edition. This is the cloth, same exact cloth that my 1986 had, that I've I think I just gave it away or something. I don't know. I don't like that fabric. It's like that polyester, a jersey kind of. Not polyester. I forgot. I don't know what that's called, but it's like it's polyester from the 70s. So and this is the deck that has these backs. So 2003 edition of the Mythic Tarot has these backs, and the cardstock is like the new Mythic Tarot with the purple backs. So I received these. Oops, I received these with an intention, and turns out they don't want to leave me. The person who I thought would want them said no. Okay, not a problem. That means they're meant for me. The cardstock is really good. Look, the reason why I'm fumbling is because I'm weird. Let me, yeah. This is the 2003. The lady who sold me back my Mythic Tarot sent it in a sweater. Look at this beautiful, beautiful bag. Totally matches the Empress card. So here it is, my original Mythic Tarot from 1986, repurchased after selling it. It's had this bow in it forever, probably for as long as I can remember. This is just to compare. This is the thickness of the two decks. So the 2003 is significantly thicker cardstock, but this is well known for having like really thin cardstock. Now, I'm trying to remember what deck I recently had, which I said, oh no, this is garbage cardstock. This one is actually quite good cardstock, so I take it back. It's thin, yes. Mine is bowed, but I used to live in Montreal, people. It was humid as hell there. And now I live in the Pacific Northwest where it's dry as hell here. So you know what I mean? Like this, and it spent a little time down south in the US, eastern United States. Then it spent a little time in the northeastern United States. And now it's back here. I think this guy's doing pretty well for himself. Just saying. Now I don't have them in order because I didn't think of it. But let me see if I can find the Knight of Pentacles pretty quick. Just to compare two of the same cards. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Who put me on the air? All right. Oh my gosh, I just want to show you. Okay. I just want to compare two of the same cards to show you. So, the 2003 edition, I thought, was smaller than this one, than the 1986. But it's not. The cards are the exact same size. Exact same size. So I don't know. I guess it's, oh no, I lie. Look, there's a millimeter. A millimeter on either side, sides and top and bottom. There's like 2 millimeters at the top and 1 on the side, where the 86 version is a larger card. The artwork's the same. The 1986, because the card is just slightly, is a millimeter larger. The image in the middle is a millimeter larger. What you can't see, because the lighting is shit at this time, because it's very late here. the coloration is identical, except for, I will say 86 is a little more saturated than the 2003, but I don't know, because these cards are 34 years old and these are 17 years old. So, you know, neither one of these are fresh off the presses, so it's hard to tell. But I will tell you this. I paid this $20, okay, plus $20 shipping to Canada. That's a given. But so if I lived in the States, like, this would have been like $20 plus probably $6 to ship to me, or whatever, or like $10 or something like that. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that I didn't pay $150 for this, or whatever it is that people are asking for. So if you want this deck, just keep looking, and you'll come across it. This one's not going to stay with me because, but I can't say it just in case they're watching. That's all I'm going to say. This one's not going to stay with me. But this one, I have to say, if I have to choose between the two, I love this one, 1986. And it's only because, well, this guy's been with me, except for a little sojourn trip, staying with someone else. This one's my favorite because it's been with me so long. And it's what in my mind is the Mythic Tarot when I think of it. However, it's the artwork. It's Trisha Newell's artwork that matters to me. You know, it's like Caselli's artwork on the new Mythic Tarot. I don't know what the story is. But what the fuck? Did they think we weren't going to notice? Anyway. This is... So if you could get your hands on a 2003 edition, which I think would be a lot easier to find than a 1986. Probably a lot easier to find in good condition too, because of the... This is like really nice cardstock. Really nice. Like, look how thick this is. That nice sound. It has dark blue backs with the Greek key motif pattern. Yeah. And at interval, it has the elements, or the suits. Sorry, the suits, not the elements. At intervals. And it's nicely weighted. This one, though, doesn't riffle shuffle too easily if you have small hands. This one riffle shuffles more easily sideways like this if you have small hands, or the normal way if you don't, which is probably why it has this bow. Now that I think of it, maybe I should shuffle it the other way a couple of times before. Anyway, so that was the 1986 and 2003 editions of the Mythic Tarot by Julia Sharman Burke and Liz Green, and artwork by Trisha Newell. All right. Now there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh yes. But that's going to be a different video. All right. Because I have some stuff I want to show you. Some of it is tarot and oracle related. Some of it is just witchy stuff. But I think I'll stop this video here. In case you haven't noticed, I'm feeling a little bit out of sorts. So I just wanted to come on and share with you the find that if you're looking for 1990s Morgan-Greer, if you're okay with it being in Italian, well, it's available on Amazon. Amazon Canada for sure. I did not check other Amazons. And the Mythic Tarot. Mine that I bought back. And oh my god, did I show you? Look at this beautiful. Now this lady literally made a sweater for this deck. All right. Well, and that's it. So yeah, comparing the two Mythic Tarots, I think if I was able to find, with a little help from a good friend, 2003 in practically new condition. It just had some shelfware. There's even two tarot cards that have literally just package wear. It was, I think it was the two cards that were up against the reading cloth, because it has a little bit of darkening, which looks like from the dye from the reading cloth. And the 1986, 2003. All right, people, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.